Hi, everyone, and welcome to SDC EMEA 2022. My name is Michael Oros. I'm the Executive Director for SNIA, and I want to welcome you to this virtual event this year. I'm sad that we're not meeting in person once again, but do look forward to, hopefully next year, seeing the friendly and familiar faces across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa for the Storage Developer Conference in EMEA. SDC is one of the key events for SNIA to educate and bring you the latest news and developments in storage. SNIA is a nonprofit organization that operates globally to develop standards and advance storage and information technology. We are the trusted authority for all things storage. The reason for that? 25 years of developing industry-leading architectures and standards. We also deliver the trusted vendor-neutral education through events such as SDC here and other webcasts throughout the year, which I know many of you attend. The key component that makes SNIA successful is that we are able to bring together storage competitors that fiercely compete in the marketplace with products to join each other at the same table and collaboratively work with one another in addressing the biggest challenges of the storage industry and ensuring that the solutions and technologies that are brought to market interoperate with one another, so multi-vendor solutions are available and our customers have vendor options and choices. That way, best-of-breed solutions can be brought to bear and address the needs of our customers. And those are huge needs, growing needs, both in terms of storage capacity in data centers at the edge, as well as the bandwidth required for AI, ML, and so many other applications that require either low latency access or ultra high bandwidth to be able to both instantly store or recall data. There are over 180 industry-leading organizations that are members of SNIA from around the world. We have 2,500 active members that contribute to specification and education programs in SNIA, which reach over 50,000 IT end users and storage pros worldwide. That is a huge footprint. And we cover equally a very large area of focus in the storage industry, ranging from persistent memory technologies to computational storage, to physical storage, form factors, and of course, looking at the data governance and security, data privacy, how do you manage the data, the storage management aspect, cloud solutions, tape, growing in importance, power efficiency, how do you measure it? And therefore, how do you then optimize these solutions to reduce power consumption, both while in an operational state as well as in an idle state? The amount of data that we have to store is tremendous, and not all data is hot data. We have to think about both the data addressed, the cost and power associated with it, as well as the data that's constantly being accessed by our businesses. In terms of the breakdown of the technology focus area, you can see here a little further listing of active projects and areas. If you don't subscribe to SNIA Matters, please do. To Alex and Olivier to give you an overview of the agenda and the wonderful presentations and keynotes that we have lined up for you the rest of today. Thank you, and once again, hope you have a great event.
Thank you, Michael, for that introduction to SNIA and SDC EMEA 2022. I'm joined today by Olivier Fraimbault, who is also a member of the SNIA EMEA board. Hello, Olivier, how are you?
Hello, Alex. Hello, Michael, and thanks for joining today.
So today we are going to be running through just a brief overview of what SDC EMEA is about, and to thank some very important people to us. We're pretty disappointed at having to go virtual again this year. COVID is still having long-ranging, certainly in terms of time effects, but we are planning to return to a physical event in Tel Aviv next year. We're really looking forward to doing that. So there are a number of challenges in going virtual, as you'll probably all know, having experienced it over the last 2 years. But we hope to be bringing you the same high quality content that we would be in person. And we're also hoping to be able, through the platform that we're using, to allow you to have the same sort of engagement with your fellow attendees and the presenters as you would in our live conference. We've run this format successfully in India, and we're doing so in the US, or done so in the US in the past. And we've got, as usual, a pretty wide-ranging agenda, with people from all over the world, from Europe, Asia, India, and the US. So what have we got this year with SDC EMEA? And Olivier is going to help me go through these and explain some of the finer details. But first of all, we've got a large number of pre-recorded sessions provided on demand, 34 in fact, and this is, I think that's a pretty good conference in terms of the depth and the breadth of the material that we'll be showing. Olivier.
Right, and actually we also have these coming from 28 different companies, all from the storage industry, obviously. But as well across the world, I would say major actors of the industry, but as well as startups, so growing companies, so a good mix of different types of technology development companies, for sure.
Excellent. And this being a virtual event, and as I said earlier, we're going to try and make sure that you've got as much interactivity as possible, and you'll find on the platform that you're able not only to talk with the presenter, even though this session is coming to you virtually and they're pre-recorded, the presenter will still be on the chat, and you'll still be able to ask him in real time any questions you might have, and also talk to other people in the presentation who are watching the same presentation.
Yes, and along with that, Alex, there are also abilities in the platform to do virtual meetings. So you can actually set up meetings between you guys. So you just need to go to the lounge and set that up. So invite the other parties, and you can have your private conversations there as well.
Excellent. And last but not least, we're running in parallel with the conference an SMB3 Interoperability Lab running as a virtual work group, and there are several companies there. We'll talk a little more about that in a second. Thank you, Olivier. So let's talk a little about our sponsors. We are really lucky this year to have a premier partner in Intel. Intel have been very supportive of the years of SDC and of SNIA, and we're immensely grateful for their support this year as a partner. The SMB Interoperability Lab is being underwritten by Microsoft, and that is a major investment for them as well. And again, we are very thankful and grateful for their support this year.
Absolutely, Alex. So thanks Intel and Microsoft. Definitely, without your support, this event would not happen. So thank you very much. Along with Intel and Microsoft, we also have 3 main branding partners, Micron, Samsung, and Ceronet. They are all available also in our lab. We have also our conference lab, if you wish, inside, where you can actually go there and talk to the individuals from the companies.
Thank you. So let's talk a little about the SMB3 IO Lab. This is co-located. It runs slightly longer than SDC EMEA, the virtual event. It runs through June 14 through 16, and there's a week of extended access time through June 22nd. But what it is, it's a virtual testing laboratory, and the idea is that vendors of SMB implementations can come along and identify and fix bugs in a collaborative setting. These engineers will be working virtually. It normally takes place face-to-face again, but we've successfully done this virtually in the past, and we're very grateful for the fact that engineers are tolerant and can actually work in these virtualized environments without too much stress and strain. Olivier, do you want to just cover some of the other details on this?
Well, I think you pretty much said everything there, but yes, I think it's an important value add of the event, the ability for all the developers around, SMB3, the version 3, to have these interactions and do their testings, because, as you know, interoperability in this sector, I mean, in this area of development, is fundamental for our clients. So, I think it's a high value of the conference for sure.
Yep, and we're incredibly appreciative to Microsoft for their continued support of this, and also to the 9 companies and 30 individuals who have already signed up to the SMB3 Lab and participating.
So, yeah, well, it's always been a very interactive with a lot of activities in the previous events. I'm quite sure it's the same this year.
Yeah, it's the last one I went to, actually. The most popular thing on it was, believe it or not, the free fruit. I don't know if you remember the fruit that we got that year, but it was excellent. They really know how to put on fruit in Tel Aviv.
Well, yes, I remember.
Yeah. So what do we expect? I'd like you to take the opportunity to review the agenda. Pay particular attention to the fact that we're running a pair of streams, so that we've got two parallel streams, and you may not be able to attend all those that you want to. You may need to be, switching first of all between streams, but also might want to be able to go back. So if you miss a session, or if there's a session running in parallel that you would really like to be at as well, then you can actually watch it on demand at a later point. All the sessions with the interactivity with the speakers and the other attendees will be during the advertised time. So the live session, if you like, is the one where you'll be able to interact with the speakers and other attendees. But if you do miss something, you can watch it later on demand. Olivier, do you want to cover the support?
Sure. Of course, if you have any technical issues with the platform, with attending any of the sessions, if you are a bit lost in the environment, even though I think it's really quite intuitive, to be honest, the platform we choose for that purpose is really powerful. But you have access to online technical support in the meantime, so if you need to.
And it's a pretty intuitive interface. I found it relatively easy to use last year. Not too problematic at all. So, how to maximize your attendance? Let's see how we do that. First of all, explore the platform. Take advantage of the features. Please visit the sponsors area. Remember, the sponsors are what make these kind of virtualized conferences possible. Without them, we really wouldn't have the ability to do this, because they do cost money to put on. And so I would really strongly encourage you to visit the sponsor expo area. You can also reach out to your colleagues. You can meet new friends, and you can use those the chat and meeting features to be able to communicate real time with people. Do remember though, the only time you're going to be able to get the speaker live is during the advertised runtime of the session. Otherwise, you're going to be missing out on the chat if you don't watch it live. But obviously, being able to do so on demand later is a pretty big benefit if you've got perhaps a parallel meeting that you can't attend.
And right, and really, I understand that we're not face-to-face, so interactions is a bit more difficult. But on the other side, if you're a bit shy, it's easier to post a chat than actually to ask a question in live. I mean, face-to-face. So it's also a way to see also the other question from the others. So you can really have conversations, even an intellectual understanding and going through different discussions around what the speakers is saying. So I actually had a lot to the presentations. So feel free to ask questions directly to the speakers during the event, like you said, but you can also do it after the presentation. You can actually contact the speaker directly, but please do so after and not before, obviously, because probably some of your questions will be answered during the presentation. So the interaction is really during the presentation and after eventually. There are also some chat rooms and lounges where, I was saying it before, you can book private conversations with speakers, but also with other attendees, with ourselves, Alex and I, of course, and Paul and Michael. And you can also post your views or pictures. You can actually have some fun there, or you can make it more corporate, I would say. But you can have some more networking abilities inside the platform as well.
That's excellent. Yeah, and just enjoy it, actually. I think one of the things about virtual conferences is they are quite different, and you have to enjoy them in a different way. And I think the platform will enable you and help you to do that. So my last plea, and I ask this every time we do presentations or anything that we do with SNIA, is rate the sessions. If there's one thing we really like, it's feedback. We really do want to know, did we hit the mark? Did we do the right things? Are we giving you the right topics? Is the presenter doing so in a professional and understandable manner? And you can rate these things really simply. It's a 5-star rating system, 1 to 5. 1 where, no, it really didn't hit the mark at all. You'd have been preferred to have done something else, all the way up to 5 where you want more. And I would really, really strongly encourage you to do so. It's often disappointing to me to run a session with hundreds of users and we get 1 or 2 comments coming back. That really doesn't help us work out what it is that we need to be doing to get these things right. So please, please, please rate every session you attend. It's vital that you do so. And I thank you in advance.
Right. We say feedback is a gift. So please give your gift. Thanks.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually. So thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for coming to the SNIA Storage Developer Conference in EMEA 2022 version. Virtual again, I do apologize for that. We will do face-to-face next year, I'm sure. But please enjoy yourselves. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for listening to our speakers. Thank you for interacting. And hopefully you get something of extraordinary value to you, that there's some nugget in there or some piece of information you didn't know that you find valuable in your working environment. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
That we do.